Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we are going to be looking at how you can make your own Perspex stands. Now, there are people online, especially people like Stony, who can do really nice custom stands with logos and everything like that. But if you just want plain simple Perspex stands, you don't have to go any further than your own backyard to get some nice quality stands. Basically, when I was looking to buy a Perspex sheet for one of my shelves, I did some research and I found a website called www.perspexsheets.uk who do Perspex sheeting custom made to your size requirements. I was going to get one, and I then discovered that they did shaped Perspex pieces. I was really curious and I did all the research and I did all the sizing. I chose the shapes, the size, everything, and I put it in the cart, and for some strange reason, I don't know why, but I just didn't click buy. I have no idea why. I think it was just, I thought to myself, I'm not desperate for stands right now. Maybe if I come back in the new year to it, I'll probably be able to buy something a little better, or just wait for the funds to I'll just wait for my funding to improve, basically. And then I forgot all about it until Andy Andreas Pickering, a guy I know on Facebook, he did the same thing, and he did all the research, and he actually clicked buy, and he even showed them off on his 16 Republic, and I was just like, oh yeah, god yeah. So I decided to go back and buy the stands, and he did the research and even told me about the difficulty he had with them polishing the borehole, and the fact that the when it is polished, it makes the hole just a slightly bit oversized, and that can cause problems with the Perspex tubing. Yeah, it was good foresight on his to warn me about that, because then when I went on the site, I sent a message to him saying, don't polish the drill hole, just keep it raw, because obviously the sizing will be different from the tubing, Perspex tubing that I wanted. Sadly, they ignored that and they still went ahead and polished the hole anyway. So I don't know. It seems to still work, even though it's not as good as it could be. It still works really well. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to film myself going to the website, choosing the size requirements and everything, and even going to eBay and showing you who to buy from the Perspex tubing. I'll show you everything so that you can actually get these stands for yourself. Okay, and then when they come through on the post, they look like this, and you're like, oh, it's horrible blue and it's scratched, but that's just the clear coating on the front. When you actually come off and try and get the clear coating off, oh, that's nice. When you peel these off, it's really good. And you peel it off again, you get yourself a nice polished edge Perspex slab, oval shaped, with a hole in the middle. Like I said, they seem to have polished this. It's really annoying that they polished that, especially after I asked them not to. So I'm in dispute with that with them at the moment, but hopefully if you did the same you could do it. It's not a rule breaker though, because you can still salvage these, because when you also go to the eBay site I'm going to show you, you can get these Perspex tube, and the guy cuts them to size himself. Brilliant, because then when you actually put these together, you're going to get a stand like this. When you put them both together, you get a stand like that. It is still a little loose, as you can see here. It is a tad loose, isn't it? Because it doesn't fully fit in there. It's a bit wobbly because they decided to polish the hole. The next batch I get, I should probably be able to get that sorted. This is just the first batch. But if you do have that problem, just saves the whole issue. The Instant Bond Super Glue Brush On. But there are many other brands out there, but fuck it, I'll just bought this one. Okay guys, what you can do is, if you're having difficulty with trying to put the borehole onto the hole, especially when they've polished it like they did with these, you use this Brush On Wilkinson Super Glue. And what I do is, I take this off, and then I take the end of it, and then I just very gently brush it all the way around the edge. Not too deeply, not too much. And then I push it into the hole here. And what ends up happening is the super glue makes the seal around the edges that you wanted in the first place, and you've got yourself a Perspex stand. And then what you use is use the crotch grabber from the original stand of your figure, which you should have for most of them, and then you just slot that into the hole here, and it works really well. When you come back to the figure here, you can see that the crotch grabber is just pushed into the Perspex tubing, and then you've got that nice clear stand. Okay, just for example, we're going to use the Toys Era, the Laughter figure. We're going to take him off his stand, and we're going to take the crotch grabber out. We're going to take the new Perspex tubing, I'm going to close this up as tightly as possible. You do not want this breaking out too early, because what will happen is it will end up cracking the tubing. Then you push it down, and voila, that's him on the crotch grabber. And as you can see, it doesn't detract from the actual figure anymore. You can see it's like, you can see all the weathering on the boots, and you know, all the details in the corners and the soles of the feet. It just keeps your focus on the figure rather than on the actual stand itself. Okay guys, first off we're going to go to www.perspexsheet.uk. It's a UK site. Sorry if you're outside of the UK, I don't know the prices that way. We're going to come straight to the front page and we're going to go to the Perspex Clear option. We're going to go to the Perspex Clear. Now I choose, you can do clear polycarbonate or you can do clear Perspex. Pretty sure I chose clear Perspex. So then we're going to go into select your shape and we're going to choose, I know you're going to go to shape and then you're going to go to oval. Now you can choose any shape you want. You can even have square, you can have a rectangle if you really want, but this is just what I did. And then we're going to come down, we're going to go select thickness, and now the thickness is going to be 6mm. So you can choose 6mm on your thickness, and your dimensions, your length is going to be 130mm, which is 13 centimeters, and your width you're going to be choosing 85mm. And as you can see, it changes up in this top right hand corner. You've got 130 across, 85 width. And you're going to come to select your finish. Do you want sawed, do you want polished, or do you want polished and buffed? Now polished is fine, polished and buffed is when it looks really good, but obviously it adds maybe about 10p between the polished and buffed. It's up to you. I just chose polished, save the money, and then you come down to screw holes required, top oval hole right in the center, and you're going to choose your hole size, and your hole size is going to be 12mm. So you're just going to type in 12mm, and your distance from the edge. Now you can have it as far back as you want, but I think I had it about 5mm from the edge, because I wanted as much space. I wanted as much space between this and this as possible, and you want it to have a bit of a gap there, but you don't want it to be too close to the edge, because then it will just crack and split this. So you just want it just a bit further in. So I say 5mm is absolutely fine. And then you're not going to choose any fitting accessories. You don't need any. I mean, if you really want, you can add some acrylic glue, but they charge you for super glue and things like that, so I just choose none. No fixtures and fittings, no cleaning accessories, and as you can see, comes to £2.25 per one. In the comment section here, this is where you're going to put, do not buff or polish the inner hole. Do not polish my hole, basically. The reason you're going to do that is because you want a little bit of friction in there, and when they polish it, it sometimes makes the hole just a little bit too big, because you're going to ask for it to be drilled to 12mm. They will drill it to 12mm, and then they will buff it, and the buffing will knock it out by almost 0.5 millimeter, so you end up getting like 12.5, which doesn't work for the pipe or the tubing you're going to use. So insist on it. You may also want to send them a secondary email insisting on it, because they ignored my comment the last time and they buffed them anyway. So I'm in a little bit of a dispute with them at the moment for that, but it didn't really massively affect the situation. You can still use some glue to stick it in and it will hold in place. So that's what I recommend. Put in your comments, do not buff the hole, do not buff the drilled 12mm size hole, and hopefully they'll listen to you. Well, I listen to you more than they listen to me. And then you do add to basket. Now I did 20 to begin with, because I wasn't sure. It was a bit cheeky, so I chose 20. And then it comes to the basket, which was £45. So then you can do the maths on that. Okay, and here's my original invoice for the whole lot. And basically, including shipping and handling, which was £6.62, and the VAT, the whole thing came to £52.95. And then we come across to the eBay store that I used, and the eBay store I used up here is called Look Now More with 3 dashes. I'll just zoom in on that so you can see exactly what it is. Look Now More, And what I did was I went to their clear acrylic Perspex pipe tube bar hollow, and I zoomed in, I close clear, 12mm with a 10 bore, which is 10mm with a 2mm thickness, and I chose the 1000mm size. I then bought 2 of those, and I emailed the guy and I asked him if it's possible, could he cut them into 13cm lengths, 130mm lengths, instead of just sending me a 1000mm long tube and me cutting them myself. And he said, yeah, absolutely fine, I'll just measure them out and I'll do it myself. So he even cut the tubing for me, which was brilliant. So yeah, I ordered 2 of those, so those was £20. So we wanted 20 of those, so 73 divided by 20 equals £3.65 per stand. Now that's not including the wire crotch grabbers that you need. You tend to have the crotch grabbers yourself. And here you can see I've got some stony stands all the way along. As we come over, we come to the custom made ones that I ordered from the website perspex.sheets.uk. Yeah, voila. And they seem to all fit quite nicely in with the rest of them. Now the difference between the stonies and these ones is they're slightly more shorter and more round on the edges here, whereas they're a bit longer this side. There's a little bit, tiny bit more real estate on these ones, which takes up a little bit more space, but not too much. Okay guys, that's it now. I hope this video really helped you. Maybe you can also get some of these stands. Maybe you'll choose different shapes, different sizes. Feel free to share them online. Feel free to drop some comments. Tell me what ones you ordered. I'd really like to see your stands. Cheers guys, thanks a lot. Maybe you could just do me all a favour and get the fuck out of my cave, I'd appreciate it. Bye bye.